The sun was barely cracking the horizon over Coronado when a cocky Navy SEAL lieutenant decided to have a little fun with the quiet woman in civilian clothes standing alone by the grinder. It was early 2018, the air still sharp with salt and diesel, and the new SEAL class was grinding through their final week of Hell Week redux. The lieutenant, fresh off earning his trident and feeling 10 feet tall, spotted her watching the chaos from the sidelines with her arms folded. She was maybe 5'6", dark hair pulled back in a simple ponytail, wearing jeans and a faded navy sweatshirt that looked 2 sizes too big. Nothing about her screamed military, so he swaggered over with that trademark SEAL grin and said loud enough for half the platoon to hear, "Hey ma'am, you lost? Or are you just here to see what real operators look like?" His buddies snickered. He leaned in, voice dripping with sarcasm. "So what's your rank anyway? Petty officer, chief? Or did you just wander off one of the tour boats?" She didn't flinch, didn't smile, just looked him dead in the eye and answered in a voice so calm it cut straight through the morning noise. "Captain, United States Navy." The lieutenant barked out a laugh, slapping his buddy on the chest. "Captain? Sure thing, ma'am. And I'm the Secretary of Defense." The laughter spread across the grinder like wildfire. Someone yelled, "Nice one, ma'am." Another shouted, "You need a ride back to the officers' club, Captain?" She never broke eye contact with the lieutenant. She just reached slowly into her back pocket, pulled out a thin black wallet and flipped it open. The gold eagle of a Navy captain gleamed under the floodlights. The laughter died like someone yanked the plug on a speaker. Before the lieutenant could process what was happening, a grizzled master chief who'd been watching from the shadows stepped forward and snapped to attention so fast his heels cracked together. "Attention on deck!" he bellowed. "Every instructor, every boat crew chief." Every SEAL candidate still on their feet froze mid-movement. The lieutenant's face drained of color. The woman closed the wallet and slid it back into her pocket. "At ease," she said softly. The entire grinder relaxed, but you could feel the electricity in the air. She walked straight up to the stunned lieutenant until she was inches from his face. "Lieutenant," she said, voice low enough that only the front row could hear, "I've jumped into Grenada. I've fast-roped into Panama. I've been shot at in places your clearance will never let you read about, and I've buried more teammates than you've got years on this planet. So the next time you feel like flexing for your boys, remember there are women on this very beach who wrote the playbook you're still trying to memorize." Then she stepped back, turned to the entire formation, and raised her voice just enough to carry on. She started walking away. That's when it happened. One of the senior chiefs, a man with a chest full of fruit salad and a face like old leather, brought his hand up in a salute so crisp it could have cut glass. Then another. Then another. Within seconds, every instructor on the grinder was saluting. The candidates, bleeding, shivering, half dead on their feet, followed suit without being told. The lieutenant stood there, hand trembling halfway to his brow, not sure whether to salute or disappear into the sand. The woman, Captain Sarah Hawk Ramsey, never turned around. She just kept walking toward the parking lot as 200 of the toughest men in the world rendered her the slowest, most reverent salute the Naval Special Warfare Center had ever seen. Word travels fast on a small base. By chow time, every barracks knew the story. By evening chow, it had mutated into legend. They said she was the first woman to ever complete the Army's Ranger School back when the course was still closed to females in every way except the loophole she found. They said she'd been the intelligence officer who planned the Bin Laden raid package before anyone outside Abbottabad had ever heard the name Geronimo. They said she once stared down a room full of 4-star admirals and told them their op was suicide, and when they ignored her, she went anyway as the only female on the assault force just to prove she was right. Most of it was classified so deeply that even the instructors could only shrug and say, "We can't talk about Captain Ramsey." The lieutenant who'd opened his mouth that morning? He spent the next 48 hours on his face doing flutter kicks in the surf every time an instructor felt like it. But something else happened too. That same lieutenant started showing up to every women's leadership panel the base offered, started volunteering to mentor the first female candidates attempting BUDS. Years later, when he finally pinned on his own command, the first thing he did was hang a single-framed photograph in his office, Captain Ramsey walking away from the grinder while the entire base saluted her back. She never asked for any of it, never posted about it, never cashed in on the story. In fact, Most of the country still has no idea who she is because her service jacket is stamped with more black ink than white paper. But every once in a while, when a new crop of cocky lieutenants starts getting too full of themselves, an old salt will lean in and whisper, "You ever hear about the morning the whole base saluted a woman in a hoodie?" And the story starts all over again. Because some legends don't need headlines. Some heroes just need you to get out of their way and show a little respect when they walk past. So tell me, from which part of the country are you watching this video right now? Drop it in the comments. I read every single one.